buckle up, because it's gonna be a long ride. It's gonna be a wild ride. Nobody cares, but we're gonna tell you anyways. This is Popcorn Chats. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Popcorn Chats. I'm Katie.
And I'm MICHAE.
And we have decided that we are going to do another rewatch series. We just did Game of Thrones. If you missed it, where have you been?
Sorry for you.
Yeah, that's too bad, so sad. Now we are going to another critically acclaimed, amazing show that we are going to rewatch. It's not critically acclaimed. Maybe like Kids' Choice Awards, if that counts as like critically acclaimed. We're going to be talking about Pretty Little Liars. We are going to be rewatching these seasons just like we did with Game of Thrones. However, unlike Game of Thrones, we're going to be cutting it into 2 parts per season. So we'll do like season 1A, season 1B, because these seasons are like 24 episodes long. And that's fucking crazy. We're not going to be able to do that. Yes, we are going to be talking about 1A today, the first 12 episodes of season 1. This is a rewatch for us. I haven't seen this since literal childhood. I feel like I've rewatched certain episodes from time to time, obviously like the pilot, but most of this I just completely blacked, completely forgot, and I am having a decent time rewatching it. I will say, we'll just get into it. How are you living? Are you vibing with this rewatch? Do you have any thoughts?
I'm loving this rewatch. I cannot wait. This show is just so iconic and so fun.
It really is. It really is.
Like,
and
it
I
keeps...
can't wait to talk about it with you, because like it really marked our adolescence in many ways.
And it's still entertaining as a grown-up. So I'm living, loving, laughing for this shit.
If you're watching on YouTube, I am going to be partaking in cannabis usage. I'm 21 and it is legal in the state that I currently live in. Thank you for that PSA.
That's a lie. You're 25.
Oh, well, yeah. I meant like at least 21. I'm 25, unfortunately. God damn it, Michaela. Don't fucking say that.
Hey, I'm going to be 26 next week. So, like...
Yeah.
Yikes.
Oh, my God. In regards to that, your present is on the way. Hopefully it gets there in time. It says between the 14th and the 23rd. I'm like, that's a botched ass fucking timeline. Fuck you. But hopefully it gets there. But knowing my luck, it'll probably get there like the 24th.
Okay, I'll keep my eyes peeled. Well, while Katie's lighting up, why don't we go ahead and do a check-in? I, once again, don't really have much to check in about. I did make some headway with my writing, which is good. Like, I feel like I had a bit of a breakthrough moment a couple of nights ago.
Yeah.
Like a small one, but one nonetheless, which is good. So yeah, I'm feeling good about that.
That was not a small breakthrough. That was genius.
I'm excited about that. It makes me feel a lot more confident about it, and like I could potentially start getting like covers shopped around, because that could like take longer, where like once I have a draft ready to go, like it would just be nice to have that shit done.
Yes.
So one of my favorite authors is releasing a book in a couple of days, and she sent me an ARC, like an advanced reader's copy, and I got to read it, and she mentioned me in the acknowledgements, and I about passed away. So that was just
Michaela,
exciting.
That's so awesome. Wow.
Yeah. Loved that. That
So
like made my
cool.
whole week. So yeah. Otherwise I'm just kind of like, yeah, you know, whatever. Every day is every day, but
right. I feel like you have a double life, kind of like your booktube writer life and then your normal corporate America life.
I'm Hannah Montana for the elderly. How about
my
yourself?
check-in? I feel like, what has even literally been happening? I have had really crazy migraines. Literally the other day, I like projectile vomited out of nowhere.
No.
Can I tell you something? I haven't accidentally thrown up in a long time. Like normally I'm pulling trig. You know what I mean? Like it's got to come out and I'm just like biting the bullet. I, the other night, was like rushing to the bathroom. I asked to go home early from work because I was like, I will puke on this floor. Got home, was literally like throwing my stuff down and like just barely made it to the toilet. And that hasn't happened in a really long time. And it was kind of a thrill, but also trash. And thank you, girlies, for listening. I hope you didn't all just like click off. This show it's not even to the point where it's off the rails yet, but
no, not yet.
From day one, it's been off the rails. Not necessarily in plot, but just the audacity. Okay, so if you weren't a part of our Game of Thrones rewatch, that's tragic for you, but also we did this thing every episode where we ping pong back and forth, and Michaela and I would try to give a 60-second recap of what happened the entire season. So we're gonna keep with tradition, do the same thing with Pretty Little Liars. So Michaela's gonna go first. She's going to recite for you all, to her best ability, what happened in season 1A of Pretty Little Liars. Are you ready?
Yes.
This is hard because you're like introducing the whole concept of the show, but
yeah,
you got it.
Yikes.
I believe in you. Timer is set, 1 minute.
Okay.
And action.
Okay, so 4 girlies drifted apart after their 5th girlie went missing, and she has been nowhere to be found, and they now are all starting to come together again, and it is found out that her body was found in the backyard of one of their future girlfriends' houses, and so now it's like a murder investigation, and the cop is creepy and is trying to maybe see if they're suspicious, and then they start getting texts from A, who they think a whole bunch of different people are them, kind of threatening them with secrets. They had blinded a girl, so they're threatening them with that. And like they're going about their lives. One of them is figuring out her sexuality. One of them is dealing with some money issues with her mother and some daddy issues. Another one, her father cheated on her mother and she's dealing with that. And then she's also dating her teacher. And another one kissed her older sister's fiance, or her sister's older fiance kissed her. Creepy. And they are all just going to high school. One of them got hit by a car.
Stop. That was good.
That was not. That was.
We scratched the surface.
Yeah, I mean, how do you boil everything down into just a little bit? From that, where do you want to start?
Okay, well, I just want to talk to you about, like, early memories of this show. Were you watching it from the jump? Like, what was going on?
No, I did not watch the first 2 seasons live. I started watching live at the 3rd season when we were downstairs at one of our friends' basements, and we started over watching it from the first season because there were some of us that hadn't, like, on her projector in her basement, and that was where I originally started watching the show. And then from that point on, it did become something that, like, we would all get together and watch, like, some of the big episodes. We didn't watch together, like, every single week, but I specifically remember in season 4, also spoilers ahead for this whole freaking show. We're, like, not keeping things, like, secret, exposing everything. But I remember, like, when Ezra was A, that reveal, like, us watching that together. I remember when Toby was revealed to be A. I remember when Cece was revealed to be A. Like, we were watching all of those pivotal episodes together.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when we were, like, watching live. And then I watched the show live until it ended. What about you? Do you remember that time in the basement when we started watching this?
I think that might have been my DVD set of them that I brought over. I do remember all those times that when we found out that Ezra was A, that was the most impactful. I remember I threw my shoe.
You did?
Because I was upset. I definitely wasn't watching this when it first premiered because I was a sheltered child and was not allowed to watch anything with kissing or sex or anything, except for Glee. And I don't know how I talked my parents into letting me watch that. Yeah, I remember watching it later. I remember everybody showing up to Chums and talking about it, like, every fucking morning when we were all waiting to go to class. People were talking about it and what happened and everything, and I just remember being sad that I wasn't allowed to watch it. But then when I finally started watching it, I think because I just, like, went out and bought the DVD set on my own and was kind of like, screw you, mom and dad, it's my money and I'm gonna do what I want with it.
Like, we joke about it being, like, a cultural moment, but, like, it truly was, because this was one of the first shows that introduced, like, live tweeting, like, as you're watching the show, and, like, they broke Twitter records with this show. So even though we joke about it, it really was, like, just a time in our lives. Everyone's lives.
It was revolutionary. Remember in, like, live watching it on TV when big moments would happen, there would be little hashtags that appeared. So it'd be like hashtag Toby is A or something. Toby and Spencer kiss or something, so that people could, like, talk about moments in the show. That's crazy. And this was back when ABC Family was still ABC Family, like Secret Life of the American Teenager, Switched at Birth, bitch. Who was, like, your fave back then, and is that different now? Yeah,
at this moment in time of the show, I think it's hard to not pick Spencer because she just, like, I love that character so much, but I truly do think in the first 12 episodes itself, for, like, what I've seen, I would probably say, like, Arya is maybe my like standout of the earlier episodes. I always went back and forth on those two being my favorite. So yeah, I'd say for Spencer is my bitch, my number one bitch. of this whole show. But it is going to be Arya for this first 12. What about you?
That's like pretty much exactly the same for me because I remember really, really liking Arya early on. And I think they did kind of, I don't know, I feel like it always was an ensemble thing. Like they all have equal screen time, it seems like, and a lot of stuff going on. I don't know why there was just like something really endearing about Arya's character and Lucy Hale's performance. But currently my favorite person right now is Spencer. She'll be my favorite. I mean, she's my favorite one of the girls. I love them all. I really love Spencer and Hannah. Just like two sides of two different sides of the coin. Corinne's laughing. She's obviously had to watch all of this with me. We've had a blast.
I love their dynamic too, like seeing those two interact with each other because they are such opposites. I think the only girl that I don't like love, it's not that I dislike her, but Emily has just always been like my least favorite character on the show, or like of the four girls. Like love Shay Mitchell, but I just think Emily as a whole is like not my favorite. But the other three I kind of go back and forth of like who I'm enjoying the most, depending on the episode.
And the show even like, we're getting so ahead of ourselves, but the show even calls out like how Emily's the weak link and like kind of the most dislikable one. I remember being like, every time Emily was on screen, I'd be like, oh my gosh, gay stuff. But I never remember like having a crush on Emily. I always remember having a crush on the other three.
Yeah.
And I was always like simultaneously bored with Emily's storylines, but also like had that like peak of interest because I was like knew in the back of my head that she like me, I'm like her. Very interesting to think back on like the way you perceived media at the time versus now. I thought this was peak cinema. Like, no one was doing it better. No one will ever do it better.
Well, at the time, no one really was doing it better. Right. Well, standout scene. I had two. It's either going to be the first group text at the funeral when they're all standing outside of Allison's funeral and they get that first one, and then the "You can't turn back the hands of time." Bop, bop. That is love
huge
it.
Bop. Yes.
Yeah, that entire scene is amazing, and I just think it is so iconic. Like, that pilot episode as a whole is such a strong episode, but that ending is amazing. And then my other one, mostly because even though he was here for such a short amount of time, I absolutely love the scene of Spencer and Alex when they're having their date in the kitchen, and they're, like, dancing together. I think that shit was so cute, and that is, like, burned in my brain. Like, I knew that scene was coming up here, even though it's such a small moment. For some reason, that stuck out in my head, and, like, has stayed with me all these years. So I'd say that is like my other smaller moment that I just loved.
Yes, I love them. I feel like Troy and Belisario had really good chemistry with every single partner that she had, like throughout all the seasons.
She did, because she's just no shade, no tea to everyone else, but she is very, in my opinion, very clearly the most talented actress of the bunch. We're not here to talk about that just yet. Yes. We'll get into that as we go throughout the show, but
neither here nor there. Any scene that is what I would describe as like a girly Lilas scene where they are all just like coming together and like, what I'm thinking of when Hannah is alone in the woods and she's like looking for her friends and then she finally like finds them and she hears them calling for her and just like the relief on her face, like those are my friends, those are my buddies. She like starts running towards them. Unfortunately, she gets hit by a car. But I'm talking about the moment before that. And then like the scene Michaela's talking about with when they first get the mass group text outside of the funeral and Hands of Time, bitch. The soundtrack of that first episode, I had that all downloaded on my Nano, bitch. All pulled off of the internet illegally. Kobe Calais song, the like,
yes,
what you told me, and Fresh Pair of Eyes.
Oh, bop.
Yes, that was on my high school makeout playlist.
Was it?
Vibes. Just trying to like spark a feeling with men. I also thought the moment where they throw Toby's file into the river was like a really strong moment because it was just like super dramatic. It really established the girls as being like four individuals who have like different feelings about what they need to do, and like each of their circumstances make the situation more complicated, and there's not like one course of action because they all are like tangled together. Do you have a favorite couple up until this point? Like for this chunk that we just did, do you have a favorite couple?
Yes. Well, so here I have what I'm going to be calling my relationship tracker, that as we go throughout the show, keeping track of who's been with who.
I'm glad you're doing that.
The couples that we have thus far in the show in these first 12 episodes, some of them still together, some of them broken up, but Hannah and Sean, Emily and Ben, Emily and Maya, Arya and Ezra, Arya and Noel, Spencer and Alex, and like kind of Spencer and Ren, not really. I think I more like noted that because Spencer and Ren become like a bigger storyline as the show goes on. But those are kind of our couples that we have thus far where they stand. Out of those, I mean, we don't have like great choices. But I'd say Arya and Ezra or Spencer and Alex are my two favorites. I don't even fucking start with me in any comments about Arya and Ezra. I'm not gonna get into it. It's a fucking fictional show. Like, I don't care. Yes, he is a straight up predator, but when I'm watching this, I couldn't care. It's a fictional show. I truly couldn't care less. I love them throughout the show. Spencer and Alex, like you said, I think they have great chemistry. I love Spencer and Toby. They are my all-time favorites, but I did really enjoy Spencer and Alex together through this point. So even though I'm happy that he left to make room for Toby, I really enjoyed him while he had his stay on the show.
Love, love, love them this time around. I don't know how they like faded into my subconscious because I completely forgot about him. But as soon as he graced my screen, leaning over that tennis fence, I was like, bitch, hell yes. I love his little locks of hair.
Yeah.
He's so
great
cute.
hair.
I love them together. Great chemistry. Great like yin and yang dynamic. They are by far my favorite couple right now up until this point. Back in the day, yes, it was Arya and Ezra. Sue me. Cancel me. I don't care. I was very emotionally invested and involved in this couple in my youth. And period. I don't.
I'll say I still am in my adulthood. I truly don't care.
I think it's a great and fun relationship to watch on screen. Is he a predator? Yes, we've addressed that. We know it to be true. We know what he's doing is wrong. It's crazy. It's a TV show. Thank you. Next.
And that's kind of like, if Katie feels the same way about this, we're not gonna talk about it every single episode from here on out, being like, oh, their relationship's wrong, blah, blah. We know this.
No.
How many people watch Criminal Minds and are obsessed with watching serial killers killing people on screen, horror movies, suspense shows? Like, you watch all sorts of things that are fictionalized and that you can enjoy. And I'm going to enjoy it on my TV screen. Right. So I'm not going to keep getting into it every single time and making like the precedence of being like, oh, their relationship's bad. No.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying
and we're not
watching
gonna
it.
be like, not gonna be serious about it, but like we're not gonna do like a serious disclaimer about it every time. And also, I just want to say there are multiple like big age gap relationships in this show. It's not just that one, and people tend to hyperfixate on this one because it's like one of the long-standing relationships throughout the show. But like, and lots of shows do that. Lots of shows have like minors involved with older people, and all of the actors are 18 plus. So
yeah, and they all like look close in age too. You know, like it's just like whatever.
Yeah, we're done. We're done with that. We're done talking about it. Thank you.
Love that we're both on the same page though about Spencer and Alex, because I know how much you also love Spencer and Toby, but it is good to like appreciate where we're at now with Spencer and her journey and see that like she started off with a good one too.
Yes, and it's so crazy too hearing her be like, Toby's such a freak. Like she's the one who's like the hardest hitting, like repeating what Allison used to say, like he's a BB Tom, he's a perv. It's like, bitch, you gonna be sucking that dick in a couple seasons, don't you forget. You're gonna be going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over that man.
And we're all gonna be blessed for it.
I can't wait.
Period.
I need long hair Toby to evolve. This whole like, I don't know if you've heard about it, that underground band. I have all the wrong friends from all the wrong places. That was the one where I was just like,
well, and when he sees, Keegan Allen's growth on this show is like, you can definitely tell that he grew over the course of the show, because too, when he's sitting by the church and he's like thinking that Emily's gonna come and see him and like send him off, you know, and then when he notices the cop car, Kate, you have to watch it back if you didn't notice it the first time, but he like goes to kind of like run the other direction, but instead he's like looking at the cop, and then he's like and then like notices the cops that way too and goes back. It's the most bizarre looking thing ever, and it's so
I wonder if Keegan Allen like watched it back and was like, oh my god, I need to like really dial it back when it comes to like emo boy, because yikes.
And he's not helping, like, doing himself any favors when he's popping up in the back of car seats and, like, closing doors and being like, you need to know the truth about what happened that night. It's like, Toby, we're trying to, like, establish you as a non-threatening person, and yet here you are just making yourself look like a creep.
I think it's funnier, like, on the rewatch, because at the time it was like, is this guy the killer or no? But he's definitely, like, a red herring. So, and us knowing that now, it's just, like, funny him being so sus, but then also he's just, like, trying to be like, no, let me explain. It's tragic. But I do really love him and Emily in this season.
Yeah.
Like, I know they're not a couple, but I do really appreciate their friendship. Very sweet, very cute.
And love that it, like, lasts throughout the show. You know,
Yeah.
they're always kind of, like, checking in with each other, having coffee, whatever. It's really cute.
The moms are hot, period. I would smash, except for Pam, all of the moms.
I was gonna say, even the homophobe.
Yeah, no, Pam, remove yourself. But, like, actually, they might be my standout stars. Like, Ella, fierce ass bitch. I can't wait for their episode. That's a long ass ways away, but I can't wait for the mom's episode.
I just love how involved the parents really are in this story and how much of a storyline they all do have. But I do have to say, you know who I, like, just drew my eye in on this rewatch was Veronica. I am, like, obsessed with Veronica. I want to be her. And when she comes in at the school during the storm episode and when Wilden is talking to them and she comes in and she's like, I know you're not talking to them, questioning minors without an adult present, and, like, just shuts him down. Bad bitch alert. She comes in clutch so many times throughout this series too. She's, like, one of the most helpful parents of them. Probably, like, her and Hannah's mom are the two that, like, go to bat the most for the girls.
Yeah.
And it's appreciated. It's not lost on me. And Veronica, I lass.
Yeah, she was such a goddess in that moment. Like, she was owning that courtroom. She was using all the terms, being like, well, then I'll have you prosecuted in a court of law, you motherfucker. And he's like, I'm on this case. She's like, not anymore. Eat a dick. Like, oh, incredible.
Fucking Lilas. Veronica.
Performance of a lifetime.
Yeah.
That was lovely. And she does have a lot of moments like this in that show.
She shuts it down.
Excuse me. I'm their lawyer. What a boss.
Love her. But, you know, on the opposite side of all the killer moms, we've been introduced to some of the fathers.
Floppy ass dads.
Flops. Absolute flops. Byron, when he's knocking on Hannah's mom's window and is like, hey, are you going home? Can you give me a ride?
Jump scare. Trigger warning. What is with him? And also, what is with this show trying to be like, everybody wants this man? I'm sorry.
Like, you're telling me he pulled Ella, first of all, which, like, way out of your league, buddy. And then Meredith.
And she's still, like, slobbering over him.
And then Hannah's mom.
Yeah.
Ashley Marin.
What's happening?
Girl.
The parents get a lot of screen time. Like, they all have their own individual plots. Kind of crazy.
I like it.
I like it too. I feel like Euphoria does that a little bit. Like, I feel like all the parents have their own lives, but not even to this extent. Like, every single one of the parents has their own, like, thing going on. The dads are flops, the moms are hot, and it's reverse with Emily's parents. The mom, Pam, is a flop. Yeah. Her dad is We Lie Last. Rest in peace. Rest in power. Yes.
And then Ashley's dad is a flop. Or Ashley, I need to stop saying, like, her real name. Hannah's dad is a flop. He looks like he embezzles money from his company and probably got slapped with a Me Too lawsuit at some point in time. I think we want to talk about, we're going to maybe have, like, a few more, like, recurring things that we're going to be talking about throughout the episodes. So do we maybe want to do that? And then we'll do, like, one-offs, just, like, random shit that we jotted down, kind of.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I would like to keep track of as we go, but is our A suspect list as we go throughout the show. So in this first 12 episodes, I feel like we kind of have 4 suspects. We have Allison in the first episode. You know, when they get the first A text, they think that it might be from Allison. Obviously, by the end of the first episode, we find out that Allison is dead. At this time, we think she's dead. So kind of take her off the list. Yeah, and they're moved on to another. Jenna is on the suspect list. They're thinking that she's a little suspicious. Toby, kind of, like, I don't really know if they think that Toby's A, but more like that they think he had something to do with Allison's murder, so I feel like that's why he's getting included in this. And then lastly, the one that, like, they like, blatantly outright say that they think is A is Noel. And he's kind of, like, how we end these first 12 episodes with the assumption that Noel Kahn is A.
And that's
thoughts about the A suspects.
I feel like Toby and Jenna really fit this. I feel like they fit as the ideal suspects. Like, obviously we get to know, like, the situation more, but just from a surface level view, it does make sense. Like, Jenna being the brains behind the operation and the one who's, like, texting the girls because she was scorned by all of them and wanted to get them back. And then Toby knows, like, the tech stuff, so he could be like recording them and being able to figure out the phone stuff and like see what they're texting to each other and like hacking them, whatever. And then he killed Allison because she got him sent to reform school or whatever. I think it makes sense. They're like the perfect red herring duo. Yeah, when it switches to Noel, it's a little silly because sometimes when they're like, we have evidence, it's like, you have nothing.
You have a window, a dirty window.
Yeah. There was literally somebody in your closet and you could have just looked in there. And that would have been like an actual crime. But all he did was write on a window.
Yeah.
There's so many more to come. I want to know how many people it is. That's exciting.
I'm going to keep that running list and the running relationship tracker of everyone who like gets into little situationships.
Who do you think is going to have the highest number of partners?
Ooh.
By the end.
Maybe Emily? Because Arya's pretty much only... Because Arya's with Ezra for, like, so much of this that she does have, like, a couple of random dudes. But maybe she kisses the most. I don't know. And then Spencer, once she gets with Toby again, that's, like, a pretty consistent dude for her. Allison, you know, is dead for half the show. And then when she comes back, she doesn't have as much time to, like, go through a hoe phase like the other girls do. And Emily doesn't... I mean, yeah, maybe Emily? What do you think?
I don't know. Spencer kind of had, like... We've seen her kiss 3 guys now, and it's only the first 12 episodes. She's been with Ian, Ren, and Alex.
Ooh, should I be keeping track of kisses too? Like, so if they kiss once, they go on the relationship tracker?
Yeah.
Because then
they don't have to be relationships. It could just be, like, entanglements.
Okay, so then I will add Spencer and Ian to this because I did not put them on here, even though obviously I knew that they do get together more. Okay.
Yeah, and Allie and Ian too.
Yes. So we can add them early on. Ew, Ian is just so... Oh, and we're not going to keep track of, like, Melissa and Ian or Melissa and running that shit.
No.
But
just the 5.
Yes. Okay, I literally forgot about Ben. I completely forgot that Emily actually had a boyfriend at one point in this show. Oh, and Emily and Allison already kissed. They kissed in the library already.
There you go. So then they're both on each other's lists. This is like school. This is like investigative research.
I know, because I'm already thinking, like, as I'm looking at this, I'm actually thinking, like, maybe I need to break it down by the 5 girls and then, like, add their folks to a list just with them. So that way it's easier to, like, see number-wise.
Yeah, maybe it's going to be Allie by the end because they're always, like, she seemed to kind of get around.
Yeah.
This is basically hard-hitting journalism and research.
Yes. And then the other kind of running thing that I would like to revisit in each and every episode is your favorite A communication method. So we will see A get more extra and extra as time goes on. But in the first 12 episodes, what was your favorite A message delivery?
I have a lot of favorite ones, but I think the tarot card situation, super spooky. Love the little dancing skeleton on it because I love skeletons. But it's just like, that's scary because it's already like this fortune teller and then it's like, no, A is controlling the game. I just love all the metaphors of like they're her dolls and A is playing with them and it's all just like a game to A. And with the tarot cards, like that's something that predicts your future and A is like, I'm in control of your future. And she like left a kiss on it. I just think that's so... Also, I'm going to refer to A as a she, no matter how many dudes we think are A. She's a woman. Yeah, so I really like the tarot card one. And then I think just signing the cast. I mean, that is a Herb.
It is.
That's crazy.
Because that's literally stuck to her body for like weeks.
That was a sleigh. That really spooked them too. Because they were like, she was in this room. Anything where it's like, A has been in here then. And it like really adds that extra like chill to the bone.
Yes.
What was your favorite way?
I had two. I really loved the fortune cookies because again, that's creative. You're having to literally go to a restaurant to making sure that they're getting the exact fortune cookies that they need and such. And then even packaging them the same as the restaurant that they ordered them from. Like that just takes a lot of thought. And the radio message with the song, because
that was great.
Because it's so unique. She's just like, music is a safe space. You're just sitting in your car, your phone's tucked away, you're not thinking about it, then all of a sudden A's on the radio. Wild.
Well, that was when they had her blocked too.
Yeah, so it was like, here you go.
Because she was like, you think you can get rid of me, bitch?
Try again. Loved that. So creative.
Yeah, I think I remember back in the day there was a lot of discourse about why don't they just block A, or like why don't they just put their phones away, or like why don't they just like talk to a trusted adult or something. Mm-hmm. Watching it back now, it's like, this person is clearly messing with you and it's clear that they have things on you, so you don't want to block them because you want to know what they want or like try and figure out who they are. Like if Arya were to show her mom or her dad the text that A is sending her, then they'd be like, well, why are you fucking your teacher? And then that's like a whole can of worms. Spencer.
And the Jenna thing.
Yeah, like all of that stuff, they can't really go to anybody about it. All they have is each other. Because then we get those girly Lilas moments out of that.
Seasons from now, you're like, oh, the consequences would have been so minor, like at the time, if you would have turned yourself in, because it was just the Jenna thing, but then you see how they just keep getting buried deeper and deeper into things, that there really isn't a way out. So I agree. I like that looking back on this, it actually makes sense that they never went to someone and you're not watching it and just being like, you guys are dumb. Like, just go to the police. Like, that's not and also the police is Wilden. We've already seen like how sketchy he is.
ACAB.
And the cops just like always suck. The cops are literally always garbage.
They're either incompetent or corrupt in this show. Like, y'all suck.
Or they're Toby. Actually, sorry, Toby. Didn't mean to throw you under the bus there, Lilas.
Yeah, Lilas. I forgot how, like, body negative this show is. Like, every other line is like, that's a lot of carbs. Or, like, something like that. I don't want to be fat and depressed.
Like, with the pasta, and it's like, fine, I'll make a salad. Fuck off.
It's like, oh my god.
Quickly, just about the pilot episode, that is just such a strong episode, and I just want to give a nod to the writers in adapting this. And also, this is like a nod to Sarah Shepard, who like wrote the books, because you have an insanely interesting premise of this show right off the bat from the very beginning, and I totally see how it was so successful, because you have a murder mystery at its core. You have a group of girlfriends where one of them is hooking up with her teacher and has family troubles. You have one who's shoplifting and her mom is sleeping with the cop to get her off the hook. You have one girl who has a boyfriend and whose mom is like uptight and like calling people like a goth for having pink in their hair, and she's secretly starting to develop some feelings for a girly when she like is dating a boy, so she's like, you know, figuring out her sexuality. And then you have the fourth one who is kissing her older sister's fiance, and you can tell that there's like a bit of a sibling rivalry there between the two of them. So every single character has a unique and interesting and compelling storyline on top of the murder mystery aspect of this show. And then the fashion, again, it was trend setting. So this, I just totally see how everything came together for this show and why it took off the way that it did from the pilot episode.
Yeah, it's just like the concept and the plot is really strong, and I think that's what carried it so far into the 2010s because of just how high of a concept this TV show and this book series was. The fact that like this dead girl is the only one who knew like all of these secrets that the four of them had. Like, she's the only one that knew that Emily was gay. She's the only one that knew that Byron kissed Meredith. She's the only one that knew that Spencer cheated with Ian. And then that's super layered because Allie also had a relationship with Ian. The stuff between Allie and Spencer, I want to talk about this. But like, there's a lot of shit going on there from the jump that we don't even realize. I don't get why Spencer is not public enemy number one, like primary suspect right off the bat. She's the one who comes back and is like, I think I heard her scream. Like that extra layer of Allie also hooking up with Ian, Spencer being like so competitive and everything. It's just interesting.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think it would have been cool if it was one of the girls at the end. That's
it would have been
way
so
off.
good. Or even all of them in on it together or something. Oh, that would have been incredible.
Yeah. Or like you don't know which one of them it is. Like it literally could have been all of them.
They have so much time in the mornings before school. I know this show got like roasted in later seasons for how like little time the girls are spending at school. But it's like, honestly, what do you want that, like, what's fun about a show watching people like be in school all day? Like that's not entertaining. So of course things are going to take place outside of it. But when Spencer's like practicing her field hockey and Emily and Maya are going to the coffee shop and Arya and Ezra are seeing each other, like they have so much freaking time on their hands in the morning.
Yeah.
I cannot relate.
There is something too about you can only do so much when you have this many storylines going on at once and you're like really going in depth into each of these characters' lives, because there will be moments where it's like the evening in Spencer time, but then we have to go back to morning time for Emily's storyline to like fit where we're at. That can at times be a little disorienting and I think contribute to feeling like what time of day is it and like why do they just have all this free time where they're just like talking, but they're all so stressed out because they have so much going on. So I don't know. I think
none of them have jobs except for Hannah at this point.
Right. Like I think we can cut them some slack because they, again, I'd rather have all of these like deep storylines where we like know what's going on with each of them than like if just Arya was the main character, it wouldn't be the same show. I feel like also a lot of my most memorable moments from this show are from season 1. Like this was a really strong first season, but it looks bad. Like the quality is awful. It's just like so overexposed. It's like hard to watch in certain moments. The influence on fashion. Do you remember that store, Maurice's?
Yeah.
I would walk out of there with bags upon bags of those stupid ass scarves that they're wearing. I'm sorry. Atrocious! Everything that they're wearing is just like had something like that.
Yeah.
And we thought it looked good.
The fashion really is a character in and of itself on this show though.
Yes.
And the fact that you could look at an outfit and be like, that's a Hannah outfit, that's an Emily outfit, that's an Arya outfit, that's a Spencer outfit, because they were so distinct
Yes.
to each style of each of the characters. Hats off to the wardrobe stylists on this show, honestly. Because, yeah, the fashion's cringy looking back on it now because it's very out of style and dated, but in the time, it was amazing. And even as we get into, like, the later seasons, like, more like season 6, season 7, as their styles are a little bit more refined, I'm really looking forward to that because it does kill it, even if it's not, like, the style anymore.
Yeah, and I love all the episodes that are, like, homecoming or prom or, like, Halloween dances. All of the stuff that is, like, they're getting dressed up. The masquerade episode.
Oh my god.
Can't fucking wait for that.
Who was your favorite
at homecoming?
Who was your favorite outfit at homecoming? Because this is the first of many dances that we will see on this show, and the dance episodes are always a serve, like when they have these big events to go to.
Yes. Spencer, your hair was botched. I'm sorry. She's killing it this entire season. Troy and Belisario, so fine. Spencer is like top tier in every other moment except homecoming. Oh, it was awful. It was awful. And Hannah too. I'm disappointed by, because like you're homecoming queen. Shoe in. Where's the look? Where's the serve? I'm not getting it. I know you're preoccupied, but like this means a lot to you. You've been talking about it all episode, so where's the look? Arya, whatever. It's Emily in this.
Really?
Yes. Her hair, the blowout, phenomenal. Incredible. I think she looked the best at this dance. That is my opinion. That's where I'm going with it.
I mean, it's a solid choice. She was my second favorite
maroon
look of the evening.
Maroon is such a good color for her.
Wait, I thought she was wearing blue.
Was she wearing blue? I thought it was maroon.
I'll look it up. Arya's my favorite. I love her hair and her dress. I think that just the stylist, especially with Lucy Hale, she wears some like wild things on this show that are kind of botched, but I do think that she just had like a very very distinct sense of style and knew how to like dress her silhouette and size. Like for her being so like petite with like the like skater skirt styles and everything.
You were right, she was in blue. Why did
like
I remember?
Blue like Hulk or like
Yeah.
V-neck, right?
Yeah. Well, her boobs look really good. And her hair.
That's probably why you thought that it was maroon. You were just distracted. Which is fair.
All right, call me out. Come on now.
I love the dances. I love the like forced proximity and like the tension that we get with all of these events as we go throughout the course of the show.
Yes.
The dance episodes are always fun.
All the events, dude, are awesome. Mona's birthday party, I like that.
Me too.
And I want that hoodie.
Yes. Also, Katie, we need to have a glamping birthday party.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah, or like a glamping bachelorette.
Oh my god. I'm more like Vegas for bachelorette, but glamping maybe for like second bachelorette.
My roommate Shelby went to a wedding yesterday and it was at Disneyland and they don't do shots. If you get married at Disneyland, PSA in case anybody is considering doing that. So that's botched. All I care about is that my bachelorette party is lit as fuck and I can't wait. And everything from now on for me will be bachelorette themed because I love bachelorette. Everything.
Yay. The fact that Spencer's parents and Melissa got pissed at her over the Ren kiss. Kind of like we said, like we don't need to like bring up that it's problematic that this older dude, like legally aged dude is kissing a minor because they're literally juniors in high school at this point. But it's kind of like y'all maybe don't blame your teenage daughter for that one.
Yeah, they're fucked up. That family needs therapy. Yeah, Melissa's also on the flop list. She's botched. She's a crybaby. That's embarrassing. Why are you letting your little sister kiss your boyfriends, bro?
She's embarrassing as a whole throughout this show, honestly.
Yeah, she's a huge flop. And she's also Nanny Carrie. So she has that playing against her fucking psycho.
The technology. The phones. Y'all, we see the evolution of cell phones through this show.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's crazy how, like, they evolve year after year, because I think next season is when they have the, like, slide up, like, keyboard ones. I hate when they, like, answer it, and they answer it when it's, like, flipped closed, because you remember how you could do that with, like, the answer button on the, like, outside of your phone, so you didn't have to flip it up. So
I don't remember that.
They keep, like, answering it like that. I'm just like, just open the phone. It's so small. Why does it need to be that small?
I wish they made a flip touch screen phone. And I'm sure, like, Galaxy or something. I'm talking about Apple, because I'm not going to have an Apple phone. But, like, I want one. Do you remember how fun it used to be, too? To, like, be sitting here and, like, thumb it open like that and then, like, aggressively close it.
Oh, when you were mad, like, flipping it closed.
I do have to say, I feel like back in high school, you would have joined this club and tried to get other people to join it. The Real Love Waits Club. I completely forgot about this. But I feel like Katie would have tried to be a recruiting member.
I would have. I would have made all of my boyfriends, like, join it with me. If you are in Real Love Waits, you're probably gay.
What do you think about Hannah and Sean with that aspect of their relationship?
Oh, super problematic. No means no. Corinne and I were freaking out about that. We're like, Sean, get out of here. You deserve better. Hannah's kind of the worst. Yeah. Wild. Hannah is definitely, like, the most problematic of these girls in this chunk of the first season. She's, like, very unhinged, but she's going through it. She literally says at the beginning of the season, like, one of the girls is like, you don't look like yourself, and she's like, great. She basically alludes to the fact that she, like, hates herself and she has daddy issues. She has, like, apparently was sent to fat camp, so that's its whole own bag of issues. I hate when they, like, do the Hannah flashbacks. She just, like, looks normal.
She's literally not even big.
I definitely remember rewatching the fresh pair of eyes scene in the rain, but I love that scene. So good. I was so excited when it happened.
They have so many great epic kiss scenes throughout this show.
Arya and Ezra just really have that chemistry. Their bathroom kiss scene, their first kiss, so cute.
They do have amazing chemistry with each other.
Also, Arya's storyline is really strong, just like how her and her dad's situations reflect each other and how, like, she's upset with her dad, but then she's kind of, like, in a similar situation. I just like all the connections between her and her dad. Doing the Game of Thrones rewatch and then doing this, you really see how how TV has changed, obviously. But like when we were waiting every week for these episodes to come out versus, I mean, we still wait for Game of Thrones, but like there's just a lot of repetition is what I'm noticing. And there's a lot of things where it's like, we don't necessarily need this. Like the Ashley and Byron situation, I feel like we don't need that. We don't need like their relationship. And I feel like if it were a show being made now, we wouldn't be getting that. And it's just interesting to see kind of all the fluff. And there's a lot of like repeated flashbacks that we see over and over again. And I think in TV today, we would just see it one time in one episode. And if you miss it, you miss it.
I agree. I just think, you know, seasons aren't this long anymore. Like the last season, I think is only, 17 episodes or something. And they definitely made it more like HBO-like. And I think today, if the show is being created, it would be on HBO. And I bet that they would cap the seasons at like 10 episodes a season if they were making it now.
Have you noticed that Hannah is pretty much consistently the first one to find out each of the girls' secrets? A sends Hannah the photos of Emily and Maya, and then she's there to see her and Ezra kissing in the car. And I just think that's interesting. And Corinne also had a really good point. She was like, she never judges. Like, her first impulse is never to judge or be like, it's all, and just the way that Hannah reacts to, like, knowing that about Emily, but, like, waiting for her to come to her, you know, defending her, like, when Arya and Spencer kind of, like, say something homophobic, like, specifically directed at women liking women.
Wait, when did they do that?
They, like, make a joke about something. I wish I remember what they exactly said, but it's like they just like make a reference to something making fun of lesbians, and Hannah at this point knows that Emily and Maya have kissed, and so she like sees Emily kind of react to what they say, and then she's like, well, you should take whoever you want to go with. Like, it doesn't matter if they're a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
They're talking about homecoming and who they want to take.
I thought that was something to do with Okay, I'm gonna go back and watch that because I didn't catch that.
It was relatable.
I know what episode
I was
that
like,
is.
I love Hannah. And just how
She's
nice
a
she
real
is
one.
to Lucas, and like she's, you know, always like helping the other kids.
I think I just fucking hate Lucas so much that like I did like when they're like watching the cute videos together, like the funny videos, and then when she tries to show Sean and he like blows her off about it, it's like, don't be such a dick. Sean just is a flop in general. But I really hate that moment when he like makes her feel bad about finding something funny and like just shooting it down and being like, that's fake. And it's like, okay, but it's funny and have a sense of humor. I do love just how you see how strong their friendships are and how they continue to be strong throughout this show.
Yeah, when Wilden like outs Emily to her friends, that's fucked up and sad. But I love the way that they all like stand up for her.
Yeah.
And then Mama Hastings coming in and like being a bad bitch. And then I also kind of like, after they all find out that Emily and Maya like have something going on or whatever, or that Emily likes women, whatever. It's not really a thing after that. Like they don't talk about it for a couple episodes. And it's just kind of like, it is what it is. I don't know. I like the way this show handles it. Because even in Glee, it's like a whole coming out episode. And it's like, shouldn't be that big of a deal. I love the way these girls are just like, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And
keep it pushing. Because that's how it normally is when you come out to people. You know, like that's what you were like. And it's like, all right, moving on.
What do you think about Pam?
I'm triggered. I was just talking about this with somebody because my coworker is a gay man, and he was just talking to me about him and his dad's relationship and just how like his dad always had a problem with it, but the mom was like, whatever. And it seems to be like moms have a harder time when their daughter is gay, and dads seem to have a harder time when their son is gay. Obviously, every situation is different, but it's just weird.
Pam, you know, whatever. You can be like sad for a second to yourself about like the life that you thought your daughter was going to have, you know, like the future that you thought she was going to have. After that moment, move on with it. Don't tell her that it makes you sick to your stomach. Pam does have a revolution on this show, though, I will say, by the end of the series. She's an ally, but in this moment. botched. What is the worst thing that you think A has done so far to like the girls in these first 12 I am fucking illiterate. What is the worst thing you think A has done so far in these first 12 episodes?
Writing that letter to Ella. That was fucked up. Because that woman didn't deserve it. And Arya was gonna tell her. Fucking tragic. Yikes. And why wasn't she like, who is this A person?
I know. She like really just glossed over that really quickly.
She just like automatically was like, fuck you, Byron, which is justified. But you
know what I was triggered by in this episode was then when Arya's picking up the laundry and Byron's like, oh, I was gonna do that, and she's like, this house a mess, and Byron's like, well, we're all gonna have to pitch in. My dad says that all the time. He used to say that all the time when my mom would like be gone for something. He would be like, well, we'll all have to pitch in, aka you and your brother are gonna do all this shit. Like, no. And then you know what? Then my dad had me and my brother cook one night, and he had me make instant mashed potatoes, and I put in 2 cups of salt instead of 2 tablespoons of salt, and I was never asked to make mashed potatoes again. I will never forget him like choking at the table when he tasted them. Trash. That was completely on accident.
This is the origin of your daddy issue.
But I never had to make them again. The worst thing that I thought was either running Hannah over with a car because she could have literally died, or outing Emily to Pam, the homophobe, because sending her those pictures. Yeah, you like infiltrated her decision to choose how she was going to come out to her mother. Yes. So that is a bummer. Hello, sister.
Michaela, you like my work outfit? I got a nice shirt on top, sweatpants on the bottom.
That's how you do it. That's the work from home wardrobe.
Yes, queen.
What would you give these first 12 episodes if you were giving them a grade or like a score? Like
I'd say out of 5, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 stars. What are you giving it?
I'd give it like a 3.5. It's solid. Okay. So yeah, we will be back in a few weeks with season 1B to finish up the rest of season 1. Looking forward to it.
We're done for today. Thank you so much. Have a blessed evening or morning or afternoon. Lilas.
Lilas.